This is the Surly Grognards for January 21st, 2020.
Where are my cyber arms?
I,
I should have at
eh?
least two cyber arms. And we replace my meat arms with other cyber arms also, so I should have four cyber arms.
Yeah, this is the first episode we've done in the new year.
Oh yeah, holy shit.
The last one we did was before the holidays. I mean, which is why we haven't done one in a while.
Yeah.
Lordy. So yeah, we've it's been a weird period. You know, we've not done as much. I don't think either of us done as much gaming as we'd like to over the past month or
No,
so.
not at all.
So we're not going to be talking about the games we've been playing or other stuff like that. I mean, we've been sort of doing our usual, like when we've had time, we've been doing our usual pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so that's not much interesting to talk about there, honestly. I really haven't been watching much new stuff other than a few anime here and there, but
Yeah, I managed to finish the Mandalorian the other day.
Nice.
Mainly because my roommate got a Disney Plus trial, and it was like, you need to watch this. You should watch this right now. You should do it because I have to cancel soon. I'll have to pay for it. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Fair enough.
And all I really, my review of it is it's Lone Wolf and Cub in space.
Yeah.
This is all you need to know. This is everything that is the show. Therefore, it is. Take from that what you will. Did you like Lone Wolf and Cub? You will love The Mandalorian. Did you not? You will think it is shit. That is how this is the way.
I've not really been up to much of anything particularly interesting recently. I've been
Yeah.
noodling on the D&D campaign.
Awesome.
Making progress. Getting occasionally distracted by other RPG stuff because that happens to me no matter what. Like, that's just going to happen.
Right.
Got struck with the notion. I've been noodling on a D&D campaign idea for a while that I've never been able to get to work the way I wanted to. And I've also been noodling on and up about thinking, I'd really love to do fantasy, run fantasy and hero system at some point. But God, I don't want to make up my own goddamn magic system, and I don't like any of the official ones that I've seen. God. And then I had a notion about if I squished the D&D campaign idea I had into a hero system instead of D&D, it fixes a lot of my problems. So here's the very basic pitch, sort of elevator pitch, basically. The campaign idea is sort of your classic isekai stuck in an MMO thing.
Okay.
So, which is why I sort of went to D&D, because class-based, MMOs are usually class-based.
Right.
D&D usually has fairly tactical combat, etc. The problem was that D&D wouldn't handle the half of the campaign idea, which is the actual people are people from our world, effectively. And how do I represent that mechanically in D&D? And the answer is, fuck.
Yeah.
There are ways I could do it. I could jury-rig other systems on top of it, other things. None of that's satisfactory. Then I looked at this and I was like, wait a minute. If I push this campaign idea into a hero system, then because the magic that's going to be used for the campaign is based on the very limited magic systems you have in MMOs, I don't have to design 8 billion different powers and spells. And I have a very rigid constructed system for how you learn new spells, new abilities and such.
Okay.
Because it's your leveling tree of which skills do you pick here and there, and it's very simple and straightforward. And most spells in MMOs are generally fairly straightforward in comparison to like God help me some D&D magic spells. Looking at you, Wish.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Wish is like level 9, like
okay, fine.
End of campaign. Like you've pretty much already killed your gods and put yourself on their
there's stuff well before that's problematic, Eric, and you know it.
Oh, absolutely. There is no question about that.
Almost anything has the word summon in the name.
I don't know what. Why you'd think that would be an issue?
At any rate, but it's like, oh, what if I do that? Then like, and then I can like say, then it's like, wow. At that point, since I'm doing like sort of structured magical powers, I can do the same thing for weapon attacks for melee classes, so give them cool, flashy melee attacks because that's what happens in MMOs.
Right.
I'm like, wow, that's a good idea. I'm not going to do that right now because I've got other things to do. But as an idea, I could actually do that. It's like, wow, that's like the smart idea. And then basically it's like, okay, so you build your basic character. The way the character creation would work would be very simple. You build a fairly low point value character for your I'm a dude from the real world.
Right.
You build that character, then you go, okay, now I'm stuck in my MMO. I take my racial template, I take my class template, I take my subclass template, and then whenever I get advancements, I take those little chunks to add more stuff on top of that.
Cool.
So not only is it structured and taken care of, and I just have to build classes with limited powers, which is not nearly as bad as building a magic system from the ground up. Like a real magic system from the ground up. Additionally, it means that people who want to play it don't have to build complicated hero system characters.
Yes.
They can build a very simple basic thing, and then glue other stuff on top of it.
Now, to be fair, one of the appeals of hero system is that you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yes, I agree.
This is also the greatest bane of the hero system.
We've said this many times.
Yes.
It is simultaneously hero's greatest strength and weakness. You can do anything, and you can do anything. No. At any rate, but that's the other campaign thing that's been knocking around my noggin for recently, other than like working on the D&D game. That popped in my head, but I've also been noodling on superhero concepts, which is tying into what we're actually doing tonight.
Cool.
Because one of the things I'm planning on doing at some point is doing a series of sort of one-shots, etc., of champions, so with pre-gen characters to save time, so that people can learn how to play the game without having to spend 8 years learning how to make a character.
Yes.
Now, I'll be fair. For some people, learning how to make characters and champions is not hard because the way the system works appeals to different. The way character generation works appeals to different people in different ways. And if you have a strong math background, and that's it. I can't get around it. It requires something of a math background. It's not like advanced math. It's not like you need calculus or anything beyond that. You need algebra occasionally. Right. But yeah, that's more than most people want to put into building a character in an RPG, and I freely admit that. It took me a while to realize that it would be an issue for people because everyone I played with, we were all math nerds.
I was never a math nerd.
Yeah, see, I wasn't playing Hero System with you at the time.
This is true. Here's kind of my thing. Like, the older I get, the more I love simple systems. Like
I want
hardcore simulationist stuff becomes less and less interesting to me the older I get.
Yeah, I would normally.
Feng Shui is amazing in this way.
Yeah, Feng Shui has enough crunch to hold my interest.
Right.
There are a lot of sort of freeform rules-like systems that I'm like, wow, I understand why people like that. I'd rather there be even less rules at this point, though. Like, if you're going to half-ass the rules that much, why have rules at all?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, there used to be some rules in there.
Sure.
Absolutely. And some of the super rules light stuff, I'm like, no, you've gone too far. At the same time, I don't want to sit there. The degree of crunch involved can get in the way more than it helps.
I can see for a lot of people that's definitely true. I totally acknowledge that.
And the older I get, the more I'm in that camp.
And that's fine. I'm not a simulationist. I'm a gamist. I want it to feel like a game.
Right.
I like some simulation. I like some. I'm sort of roughly in between. Basically, the three sort of tent poles that people often talk about is simulationist, narrativist, and gamist. I'm
Right.
primarily in the gamist camp, and I'm sort of halfway between simulationist and narrative. I lean a bit more towards narrative than simulation, but simulation matters to me somewhat.
Yeah, I'm more narrative, but I like games on a little bit of simulation. So, but narrative is definitely the most important aspect of that. Excuse me, of that triumph for me.
And that's fine. I totally get that. I don't get me wrong.
And
I love me a good narrative game, but I want there to be actual goddamn rules.
yes, no, rules are important. Rules help quantify things, and like otherwise, I'm just going to cast Dragon Slave over and over again.
At any rate, but anyways, back to the whole superhero thing though.
Right.
That idea got me. I've been sort of it's been kicking around in my head, and one of the things I've been thinking about is with the characters that I've been sort of noodling on some of the character concepts. Some of them started tying into having themes amongst each other,
Mm.
and that got me thinking. What might be fun would be to between the two of us, just start thinking up some thematic ideas for superheroes and villains, and something like maybe some linked origins, maybe some thematic powers, teams that have some sort of theme amongst themselves.
Oh, absolutely. That's something that, as much as I love superhero games, it's something that's always seemed kind of like it was kind of missing from them
Mm-hmm.
because so many superhero comic teams have a theme.
Yes, I mean not
And
like
yeah,
not all of them can. Not every team has to be the Avengers, but not every team has to be the X-Men either. Basically,
exactly.
you want both occasionally. Now, the first theme team that popped in my head. Let me go. The hero theme group that sort of started evolving as I was making it, and I was talking about this on stream while I was playing some game. I forget what, probably SWTOR. Is a couple of them. I had made two of them. I'd finished making one pretty much and was working on a second, and taking a break and was playing video games on stream. And the first one I made was basically, what if Frankenstein's monster was still alive and was now a superhero?
Yes. I was going to suggest the Universal Monsters theme.
Yes, that's where that ended up going there. Yes.
Yes.
So the first one was Dr. Adam Frankenstein,
Yep.
who is So what are his power? What his powers ended up being? He's strong. He's inhumanly tough. He's basically impossible to kill, and he's very smart. Has been alive is very skilled because he's been alive for a long fucking time, and he's a gadgeteer.
Yep.
So yeah,
I can see it.
he's a decent brawler, but he's not like that's not his shtick. His shtick is I have gizmos and gadgets, and I'm going to outthink you, which I love as an idea for like that's not what people immediately think when they think Frankenstein's monster, unless you've read the damn book.
Unless you've read the book, yeah.
So the second one I was working was a mummy, not the classic mummy, but I was like, okay, what I want to do a mummy because mummies are cool. And I started thinking, okay, what if the mummy? So I want a heroic mummy. See,
Right.
I'm doing linked superheroes. So what if the mummy was a priestess of? I think I went with. I think it was Osiris is what I was going with. Either that or oh god, is one of the Anubis? Yeah, Anubis or Osiris. Pick one basically.
Right.
So a lot of ability to a lot of her spells involve sand and also she has a truly horrifying spell at her disposal. She's a spellcaster primarily. Again,
yeah, I was thinking if you're going to do a mummy, make them a magic user of some sort.
yes. She's got one horrifying spell that she doesn't use on people because they summon the magical scarab swarm.
Yeah.
It can bore through metal eventually. It's like, no, don't do that to people. And that got me thinking. So those two came up, and then like we started realizing, okay, well then a werewolf because
No, I was thinking the werewolf should be a should be a professor of folklore,
Sure.
and he's the team heavy actually.
I was thinking I was going for sort of either sort of melee scrapper, obviously at a
Yeah,
minimum.
yeah.
I was thinking that was one of them. I was thinking that one of the main antagonists for the team would be Dracula, and one of Dracula's sort of agents to be the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
What I was thinking for the actual sort of tanky member of the team would be Mr. Hyde.
Okay. The thing is, Hyde's a literal sociopath.
I know, and that's one of the reasons I was sort of wavering on that one. That was the one that popped in my head because I thought, well, again.
I mean, I love the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen as much as anyone else. Trust me, it's a great comic series.
But the thing is, you can balance it to a certain degree. You can work it, but I agree with you, it's tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky. You can do something similar, like I was doing with Grog, my troll.
Right. Well, yeah.
Like,
basically,
you some sort of thing with.
Jekyll's got basically hooks in him somehow.
Yeah, Jekyll's got hooks on him. He's got a deal. He gets to come out and do his thing, but he has to be a good guy.
Right.
Otherwise, Jekyll just won't ever let him come out.
Right. Then our mutual friend Ashburner in the chat while I was streaming suggested, what about Klaatu and Gort showing up? And Gort being the actual hero. They've come to warn Earth about the invasion of Mars, and they're getting these supernatural beings together to help fight the Martians.
Yep, I can see that. Yeah.
So you've got these Marvel movie monsters and Gort there hanging out, and Gort could be the tank also.
Yep, Gort could be the tank. And you've got like the Martians coming down with their war tripods and assault mollusks.
Right. And meanwhile, you got the threat of Dracula and the Invisible Man lurking in the background.
Yep.
I love this idea, and this is one of those things. I thought you'd really appreciate this.
No, I really dig this idea.
Also, I really really enjoyed building Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's just cool. Yeah.
But again, and he is Frankenstein. He's taken that as his last name. He's decided to redeem the family name.
Redeem the name, yeah. Out of spite more than anything else.
Oh yeah, no, he does not like. He is not a. The other thing is one of his disadvantages is it's like magic is bullshit. It's like
despite hanging out with
right. It's like no, he's like I know there's a logical explanation for it. There's a scientific explanation for what you're doing. I don't know what it is yet. I will find it eventually. Call it magic. That's fine. Clearly, I can't explain it right now. I will eventually. I know I can figure this out. So that was the first sort of that, but that group of themed sort of team got me thinking. Was what got me into thinking about maybe brainstorming some other stuff up that'd be linked and themed. One of the themed villain teams I thought of, which is one I've been kicking around for a long while. I've never really sort of sat down and sort of metered it out. But the concept for the team is a group of supervillains.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not linked to, like, their origins aren't necessarily linked or anything like that. They've got two things linking them together. One is they actually get along, and they're actually basically like an actual honest to God team. They're not like your classic sort of bwahaha Legion of Doom supervillain
right.
backstabbing. No, they actually get along. Some of them are actually friends with each other. The other thing that links them together is, oh boy, are they better as a group than they are individually. The whole point is every member of the team, their powers are limited in some way that makes them not actually that effective on their own.
Mm.
And so every member of the team, either another member of the team covers their weaknesses, their powers cover another team member's weaknesses, or are synergistic with someone's powers. And the first one that popped, the first character that popped in my head that sort of started all of this was the villain Mountain, whose whole shtick is he is immensely strong and incredibly tough, but only when he's not moving.
Mm.
He has to be rooted and be a mountain to do that. Which is, wow, while he's standing right there, he's incredibly strong and you can't hurt him. So we just go around him? Yeah. Wait, no.
Well, it'll be a lot easier just to punch through the wall than next to him than go through him.
So what we do is we slowly at distance wrap him up in cable and then tow him away. No! Stop that! So, but again, like, I want to get in a fight. I want to be able to help out. But it's like I want to be like he can't rob banks, but he's got to walk. Like he'd have to walk up to a bank vault door, stop, root himself, and then do the super strength thing.
Like one of the other ones could be a telekinetic that could only pull things closer to himself.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Something
he
like
sits behind Mountain and kites things into him.
Exactly. Yeah, someone who's like, yeah, I've got telekinesis, but I can't use it to smack things or crush things. I can just pick things up and move them. And not super fast. So it's not like I can fling something at incredible speed at something else. No, I can pick it up, move it casually next to Mountain, and then he punches it. And stuff. So that was sort of that was sort of something I was starting to think. So what else can we think of that would be other sort of powers that would actually characters that would fit into this sort of group? And I was wondering whether you had any ideas off the top of your head.
Do precog that can only see a couple seconds into the future.
Okay.
And that way he and what he does is basically just an early warning system for someone trying to move Mountain.
Okay.
Or trying to flank around him. So they can reposition their formation so that Mountain's facing the right way. There's also trying to think who else. Maybe a telepath of some sort. Especially given your old given your older universe where telepaths are not well thought of.
Well, yeah. But okay, so here's the thing: we got the limited. Let's focus on the limited precog for a second.
Okay.
So he's got limited precog. What is that literally his only power? What else can he do? What else can they do? Is the question.
I'm reluctant. My other thought was to give him hyper reflexes, but then I thought, no, limited precog with hyper reflexes.
No, exactly.
Ungodly broken. Never mind.
Right. No, exactly. So what if we have somebody? What if we have someone with limited precog and some sort of range combat ability, but they're not actually that good. They're not that accurate.
Okay.
So they need someone to help set them up to make up for their inability to actually, it's like, yeah, they can hit a non-moving target, sure, but
Oh, yeah.
And that's
his thing is he can move anything up to a certain point, obviously. But but he's not terribly accurate. So another thing you could do is you could have the telekinetic help steer Mountain, who is not moving because he is being flung by the guy who by the precog.
Well, what I was thinking with the precog is part of the reason, let's for instance say that he's part of the reason he's not accurate is because his precog is constantly sort of getting in the way of him. He constantly is rechecking and double checking his aim and such, and it throws him off. Something along those lines. So his precog it's always going off in some way, shape, or form. And he knows when to pay attention. He knows, I can tune it out mostly and only pay attention to really important stuff, but it's still there like tinnitus.
Yeah.
And it basically throws off, and so the second we're in a fight, it's it's there all the time. And it basically interferes, it throws his sort of ability to aim off or something. Actually, it could be visual. Like his precog is
Yeah,
actually visual, so
it's
he's
actual.
constantly seeing like after images and weird shit
Yeah,
all the
he's
time
constantly seeing like a semi-transparent overlay of the universe of everything else. So yeah,
of alternate time of alternate like things that could be happening. And it's like I'm pretty sure that's the actual thing that's right there, but everything's blurry. And it only happens when he's actually in danger, which means when they're in a fight, which is when he needs to use the.
which is when he really needs it, right?
So he probably shouldn't be a telekineticist because that's sort of the dude who moves things in front of mountain thing.
Right.
So I don't like.
So how does he work into the team then?
Well,
Because the telekinetic and mountain like are an obvious like
they're an
great
obvious
team there.
duo. We need someone
Yeah.
who helps set him up. The thing is, again, as you mentioned, his precog is just generally useful.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Let me think. Okay, no, maybe he is a telekineticist, but he's a different sort of different. He's the two telekineticists, the precog and the guy with precog and the other telekineticist are related.
Mm.
So they both have they both have psionic powers. And so our precog can't do these sort of big grabbing stuff. He can only do sort of fine point telekinesis, so he can smack things hard, but he has to be
Okay.
able to
Yeah.
see it and direct things to hit it. So he can like,
Mm.
so he
No, no,
basically,
go on.
yeah. So his sibling is has the ability to, you can't like you can't smack things, but they can pick up very heavy weights and move them around, which is great when they need to get away with the loot.
Mm.
So yeah, that's great. He can carry the loot. Problem is when he's carrying the loot, he can't do anything else.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, maybe they've got someone on the team. Oh god, I thought of one possible member of the team, but it fits too well. If it ties in too well to, it's too similar to an already established Champions villain in the Champions published books, which is Binder, whose only superpower is he's got battle armor and a hyper powerful glue gun,
Mm.
and he knows martial arts. And like it's like wow, what can some guy do with a very powerful glue gun do? Oh dear lord, he's gooped that guy into place, and now the brick is gonna hit them. But yeah, he's Binder is. But I'm thinking something along those lines. But I'm just not sure
Yeah,
what.
something that lets someone root things in place. Yeah.
So they can't move and can't dodge the inaccurate, telekineticist. The world's least accurate sniper. He's got gobs of range. Hits hard. Can't hit the broadside of a barn. when he's actually in combat, because
Right, because his vision gets all fucked up because he's seeing the future.
literally he's seeing it all the time. It's like, okay, everything is like shifted about is shifted 2 to 5 seconds ahead, and I don't know how much it is actually because it varies.
Mm.
It's like constantly speeding up and slowing down. It's just like ah. I like this poor sniper guy actually.
Yeah, sports sniper guy is actually kind of a neat idea.
Mountain is very simple and straightforward. Um, but yeah, stuff like that. Like I like the idea of a villain team that is bound not just by the desire. Like they're bound both by bounds of family and friendship, but also by the fact that together they are actually better. There's a villain team powered by friendship, basically.
Mm.
So yes,
Evil friendship.
evil friendship. Yes. I mean, again, and my gut feeling is they're probably not sort of the type who want to go out and conquer the world or murder people, because they wouldn't get along that well if they were that sort of people.
Yeah, no, they're very much like They are the low rent, like, get rich quick guys.
Right. They'll do jobs for other villains will like master villains will occasionally hire them to do stuff because yeah, we'll do work. All right, what are you asking us to do? Attack the superheroes to tie them up. Sure, we'll do that. That's fine. Oh, you want us to cause a distraction by robbing a bank? We're down.
Do we get to keep the money? Yes. Okay, we're gonna do that anyway.
We totally weren't going to rob that bank next week, anyways. So we'll do it this week.
Yeah, we'll just step out the timetable. Not a big deal.
But yeah, I like the idea of. There's more that need to be fleshed out. Like it needs a few more team members. Like ideally, you want it to be like 5 people, really.
Yeah. So we've got sniper guy. We've got 4 because we've got root guy. We've got telekinetic. We've got sniper precog, and we've got mountain.
Yeah.
So maybe. Oh, someone to be the planner. Like.
Oh, Eric, I've got it.
Yeah.
All right. So the last member of the team is a villain whose powers are primarily useful for defending other people.
Oh yeah.
It's a classic hero set of powers that is stuck on somebody who's got a villainous ethos.
Yeah. Like he generates force fields.
Right, exactly. Some sort of force fields.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Eric, he can create barriers of ice.
Yes. Yeah, because that works thematically with mountain too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah, some sort of able force walls, ice walls, something like that. I like the idea of actually the root guy could be an ice manipulator.
Yes. He freezes your feet to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can freeze stuff. He can't do it like he's like he can like if he has time, if he can freeze you solid like over time, it can actually do like he can actually hurt people, but it takes time for him to do it.
Right.
Like he sits there like freezing you constantly for over turns. It's like yeah, eventually that'll like take you out of a fight, or he can just do a quick sort of and I'll cover you in ice and leave you there. Yeah, you'll be chilly, you might catch a cold, but that's not my job. My job is to make sure you don't move, so Bobby over there can shoot you in the head with his telekinetic powers. Or we can ignore you for a little while until his Bobby's brother can pick you up and fling you in front of a mountain.
We'll then promptly punch you flat.
Right.
Yeah. You've got force field guy who's like just throwing up shields and funneling people into mountain or
and he's
like,
they're the tactical planner.
Yeah.
So like they often sort of bubble themselves up and basically start observing the battle and like calling out attacks and giving people a heads up and keeping the ear out for the precog to make sure that they call out when something unexpected is going to happen that'll screw up his plans.
No, I like that. Especially if we give him mechanically give him some way to boost other people's rolls as long as they're listening to him.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah. I like that. Yes. Okay, Eric. What he does is he's invented a force field projector. He's a tech guy.
Mm.
So he's basically got a force field projector. So he can bubble himself up. He can create force fields in front of other people and such. But it's a force field. He can't make it move fast and hurt things. It's not a force projector.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not a projector. He's got his force field belt that allows him to bubble himself up. And he's got little grenade things that he can fling out that generate force bubbles around things.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Or create walls of force in front of other things.
Or create walls, and depending on which one he flings out. Yeah.
Right. And he's probably got okay. And then for his lone concession to offense, he's basically got a bat a bat that's made out of energy, basically a force bat.
Yep, I can
see it.
That he
can clonk people with. It's like, aha, bonk.
I'm seeing a very low-tech Ghostbusters kind of vibe, like when they throw out the proton traps, only they project force fields.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yes. complete with the power cable going to the generator on his back, so he has to reel them back in.
That's awesome. That's great, Eric. Yes. That's fantastic. I love it. Which means that like they could like heroes could target the cables if they wanted to shut them down.
Yes, or just like the Team Brick could like gather up a big fistful of cables and fling him around, and it's hilarious.
Yes. So again, like none of these people are individually particularly threatening, but as a group, they're actually dangerous.
Yes. No, I'm digging this. This is a pretty good idea. This is a great like fight for a superhero team,
especially a smaller one. Like,
yeah.
But the other big thing is like especially if the heroes go in expecting the villains to be like all villainy and like arguing with each other and such, and then they realize that they're operating like a well-oiled tactical machine and are like each other and cover each other's weaknesses, and they have plans to bug out and like abandon their villainous plans to make sure that none of them get captured.
Yeah.
It's like, ah, crap! If we keep pushing to win this, we're just gonna get ourselves arrested. We're at least one of us is gonna get arrested. Screw that noise. We're bugging out.
They all have contingency plans to bust the other one out of, the others out of jail.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like they one of the things they do is they actually save some of their money that they steal when they actually do succeed to put into a fund to help fund plans to get their buddies out of jail if they actually do get arrested.
And like each of them has like a series of plans they follow. Like, okay, assuming on the last one left, I get so and so out, who will help me get so and so out, and the three of us can get so and so out and down the line.
Right, exactly. They'd be the thing is they'd be simultaneously like they're not super dangerous, but at the same time they're one of the most infuriating supervillain teams ever.
Yes.
Because like they you can't break their morale. They're not going to fall apart squabbling because they like each other.
Yeah, because they're droogs.
Yeah. I will admit
you're not going to make them flip on each other either.
Right, exactly. So yeah, why don't you sell the rest of the team? Why would I do that? Well, they're not going to come help you. Oh no, they're going to come help me.
Joey Joe like was has already flipped on you guys. Joe? Yeah, bullshit. He was at my kid's christening. Fuck you.
I love the idea of this. I definitely, it's one of those things that I just love it because I just love that sort of. It's not your typical group of villains.
Yeah,
and I always enjoy that sort of thing. It's a nice change of pace. Sort of the same way that these guys show up in town and it's a bit more of a lighthearted supervillain, a more lighthearted supervillain thing. It's like, yeah, they're not out to conquer the world. They're not trying to murder people. They're trying to rob a bank.
They're just, some ridiculous get-rich-quick scheme, and it always involves robbing a bank or stealing some bit of prototype tech that they're hired to get or something.
But the other thing, the other thing is, if something really bad is happening, there's, actual, danger to, I love the idea. I love the idea that, during natural disasters, they will show up to help out.
Yeah.
Because
like in the Martian invasion scenario you described.
Oh, they would be fighting to defend.
These guys setting up a bunker and helping people in.
Yeah. Absolutely. The team tactician would show up the heroes would basically they'd send a recording to the heroes saying, "Hey, look, we are more than willing to help you guys fight the Martians if you will make sure no one arrests us while we're helping you. We're fair game after the invasion's over."
But the heroes are fighting the Martians, and they come across this unregistered bunker, and you've got mountain and force field guy holding it off, and you see the force field flicker to let some refugees in.
Yeah, right. The hero's the fuck? And say, what do you mean the fuck? Who do you think we are? Of course we're helping.
No, it's the fuck, why aren't you? You didn't see nothing. We didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
Because guys like this also aren't going to be friendly to the heroes at all. Because
Well, no, they're not going to be.
they would have a very like us versus them kind of thing.
Oh, sure,
Like,
totally. But like, if push
so
came to shove, push comes to shove, they will help out.
oh yeah, they will help out, but they'll never do so. How do I describe this? It would be very much like you stay out of our way, we'll stay out of your way, and we'll do what we can kind of deal.
Sure, I could see like the tactical leader dude though being like one of the guys like, dude, I have a perfect plan for you guys if you want it.
Yeah,
You'll owe me.
like he tosses a tech guy a flash drive with a plan for getting more people out of like heat ray bombardment range.
You know, your tactics when you're fighting the Martians are all wrong as a group. I can give you some advice, but
It's gonna cost you.
you villain. Well, yeah, duh.
I'm a villain. I'm not a super villain. There's a difference.
Dude, we're not like those guys. We like what we do. We like the money, and we don't like the rules. We don't like the way society we don't like the way society is structured, and we don't like following rules.
Oh, here's an idea for a hero team that I just had.
Okay, I'm here. Are you listening?
Okay. The spooky childhood monster things, like the monster under the bed,
Ooh.
the Bloody Mary.
Oh, like yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary is a heroine.
Bloody Mary is a heroine. The monster under the bed. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other
The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman, yes. And they're very much sort of like a Justice League by night kind of deal,
Right.
Because obviously they can't operate during the day. They lose all their powers.
Right. I like it. All right, we need another sort of we need to come up with another sort of interlinked origin. We need an interlinked origin team, but not like but something a little bit different. You know, like we can't do mutants because duh, that's been done how many times?
Yeah, no shit.
And not like astronauts exposed to cosmic radiation because it's not just the Fantastic Four who've done that.
Yeah, it's not just the Fantastic Four.
It's all the Fantastic Four homages that have done that. I want to give Kurt Busiek a lot of credit for his Fantastic Four homage not being exposed to cosmic radiation in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Because the first family are goddamn awesome, and not a single one of them has been in outer space. Well, that's not true. They've been to outer space now, but none of them got powers that way. One of them's a gadgeteer. One's a two-fisted archaeologist. One's his brother, who's so basically a two-fisted archaeologist type. They're two adopted kids with superpowers. One of whom married the son of the queen of the queen of Atlantis.
Yes.
And their daughter.
Okay,
I love the first family so much.
How about do your crappy like post-apocalyptic like Road Warrior gang kind of deal that have fallen back in time and are now trying to keep it from happening?
Ooh, I like it.
So that way you can have your one like super mutant kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he could be the Team Brick, and you'll have your gadgeteer, but he only ever makes anything work when he's dealing with junk. Call him like Junkyard or the Junker or something.
Yes. There's a one of the villains in Astro
Call
City.
him the Lemon, and he only works with crappy cars.
It reminds me a little bit of Junkman from Astro City.
Oh, I forgot all about him. Yeah.
Now he uses like crappy technology because it's like he's proving a point.
Right.
Like people discard old stuff too soon for when it can still be used to do useful stuff. Because he's an old guy who got kicked out of his job as an inventor.
Right.
So he's out to prove that old stuff can still be useful with the right know-how, and he's kind of awesome. I adore Junkman. He's amazing.
Yeah, Junkman is pretty cool. Junkman was the one that like pulled off the perfect gig, and like no one believed that it actually happened. He's like, but no, I did it.
Well, the thing is, they never figured out who it was, and everyone just assumed that the villain screwed up later and had gotten caught by someone else, and no one ever. And he's like, but no one will ever know it was me. I proved my point, except I didn't actually prove it. Fuck!
I couldn't prove anything because no one. Arg.
So he intentionally gets himself caught and then busts out of his own trial.
Same plan later on with one. Yes.
So that they can detail exactly what he did successfully, and then he busts himself out of his trial.
Yep.
Because he's a baller. I love him. God, I love Astro City. It's little stories like that make me so happy. But at any rate, but yeah, I like the idea of the guy who he knows how to jury rig technology together, but he can't build he's not like a trained engineer.
Yeah, he can't build anything new. He just doesn't have the fabrication capabilities.
Right. And he's never worked with those sorts of tools.
Yeah. So what the fuck is a lathe? A what? You can change the size of your cylinders with a metal. Holy crap! This changes everything.
Oh my god! Yeah.
You gotta have a cyborg. There's always a cyborg.
Okay, so we've got the big guy mutant.
We've got the big guy mutant. We've got the
junk gadgeteer.
The junk gadgeteer.
We've got the Soviet surplus cyborg.
Super soldier cyborg. Yep.
Because it's got to be Soviet surplus, despite that the Soviet Union's already fallen.
Yes.
Somehow he's Soviet surplus. He doesn't understand it. We've come back in time. The Soviet Union's already fallen. What?
Did what now?
But
slowly they end up piecing together they're from an alternate future just by coming back in time. They've changed it.
Yes, they've already succeeded, sort of.
Yes.
It's we've already succeeded, except that we can see
we can see similarities.
There are all these historical events that are going to lead to something very similar. It's just there's no Soviet Union. Well, there's no Soviet Union. Well, that's, I guess, a plus.
So it wasn't the Americas versus the Soviet Union. Instead, it was India versus China. What? No. Look at the trends. It's going to be India versus China. We have to stop this.
But we're in the United States. I know. We didn't know that would be the case when we came back.
Well, we didn't know that. If someone had done better research, Bob, they could have pointed the wormhole in a different direction.
But the mere act of coming back has actually changed timelines. That's the problem.
Quantum. The mutant's like, quantum physics gives Grog headache.
Actually, no, I love the idea that the guy who actually understands the actual quantum mechanics of it is the mutant.
Is the mutant, and the mutant talks like your standard big dumb mutant, including being in the third person all the time.
Right. He's very smart. It's just that he only recently learned English,
language.
Basically.
Yes.
He's never had to communicate verbally until recently.
Yes, because it turns out all the super mutants are telepathic, but only to each other.
Right. It's like, I have to talking hard and slow. God's why verbal?
Don't understand. Grog, explain again. In coming back in time, collapse waveform probability.
I love it. The first time he runs into an actual telepath is like, oh my god! Wait, you can talk with your brain. Oh my god!
And suddenly the poor and the telepath immediately screams and falls over because of the information overload.
Right. No! No! Oh no, right, his telepathy works on a slightly different wavelength. So they
Not
can
so
communicate.
fast. Slow, not as slow as talking, but still slow.
Why so difficult?
That will be his catchphrase. Why so difficult?
Yes. Oh! He's a very grumpy mutant.
Yes.
Everyone around him is so much slower than he is, and he can't actually speak fast enough to make up for it. Because he's evolved not to.
Yes.
In his subspecies, speech is not actually a useful trait. They don't need it anymore. It's
Why his
vestigial.
inflection is so flat and dumb sounding, his palate just isn't shaped that way anymore.
Because it's become almost vestigial.
Right. Plus, all those tusks and teeth get in the way.
Right.
Because he's a post-apocalyptic mutant. He eats a lot of tough meat.
And like roots and stuff.
Yes.
No, these fangs aren't because I'm purely carnivore. Need these to actually break down like tough root.
Not just for meats, for tuber too.
Lots of calories in tubers and roots if you can masticate.
Like potato, like yam.
Potato.
Potato good.
Potato starch that is not super tough is good.
You cook potato too long. It's soft and squishy now.
Lose all good texture.
I just imagine him eating raw potatoes like candy.
Yes. These are great. These great. But they're not good for you. They're not cooked. Maybe not for you squishy types.
It is good for grog. Potato good for grog. Grog like turkey.
Yeah, I like but yeah. So we got those. So we got those. So we've got the smarter than he looks super mutant.
Right.
We've got the not actually like smart, but not as smart as he thinks he is. Gadgeteer.
Right.
Like he's good. He's smart, but he doesn't have any actual formal training in anything.
We have the Soviet cyborg who is the gun bunny.
Right. He knows what his job is, and he's good at it.
Yes.
Like that's actually a pretty just good trio of heroes, honestly.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good trio.
I like the idea that he and Grog get along he gets along pretty well with both the other two, but the other two don't like each other.
Yeah.
Much. Like
Grog,
they're like, yes, we need each other to survive. We need to work together to accomplish our goals, but we don't like each other. Vlad's great. Vlad's
Everybody
a droog.
likes Vlad. Vlad's just this despite having giant piston driven hammer hands and rocket launchers on his shoulders and dozens of cyborg lenses instead of eyes, he's just a really nice, personable guy who's really friendly and is just happy to be there.
Yes. He's a giant walking mechanical pile of bonhomie. Nobody dislikes Vlad. How can you dislike Vlad? He's a complete sweetheart. But he could blow up the
Vlad
moon.
is a ray of sunshine and not the radioactive kind.
Oh, I love that. That's great. I like this team. They are funny.
Yes.
All right, I just had another thought based off one of the heroes I've already made.
All right.
Now there are two ways I can move out from using this one one particular hero as the beginning of the theme of the team, and that's El Cazador, my Mexican luchador monster hunter.
Mm.
Now there are two ways to spin out the theme of the team around him,
We could have war monster hunters or more luchadors.
or just more athlete types.
Mm.
I like the like different members, different combat athlete types.
Oh, a luchador, a magical girl, and oh, and a knight.
Okay, as monster hunters,
Yes,
I like it. That works.
because you've got the luchadors, so you've got like the Mexican / like Central American like hero archetype. You've got the magical girl for the Japanese hero archetype. You've got the knight for the European hero archetype.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually really good. That's great. Yeah, if I was going to spin it to the sort of athlete side, I was thinking like a boxer who has like can throw can encase his fists in like different elemental types to get different effects when punching. As another possibility, another member of another sort of a different combat athlete with powers. Right. But I like your idea better. Actually, I like your idea a lot better. But it's a better theme, I think.
Yeah, just like it's like an inclusive worldwide hero thing. Like I wonder. Oh, I don't know enough about like.
The thing is, you could do research on other cultures to look at sort of what they're
I was thinking I'd want to get like get someone from Africa and someone from India also in there.
Yeah,
and we have a 5-man team.
Yeah, it's totally. So you got that's wow, I love it. I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
This is the kind of I love coming up with like heroes like groups like this. That's just neat. It's especially like they're like you look at them on the surface, you're like, what is their cohesive theme?
Friendly Genie.
Ooh.
Friendly Genie can get thrown in there from like the Middle East.
Okay, that's possible.
Or like or maybe like an Alibaba type of character.
Okay, that could work. Yeah.
Aboriginal Dreamwalker.
Okay, that could work. My first thought went to when I was thinking sort of Middle Eastern sort of heroes. I was going back to Mesopotamia and to the Legends of Gilgamesh somehow. And have Gilgamesh not have to refer him over to the fate version of Gilgamesh.
Yeah, because then he's an asshole in gold armor.
He's got style, at least.
Gobs and gobs of style, but he's an asshole.
Oh Lord, he's a jerk. He's a jerk. He's a fun jerk.
Instead of Gilgamesh, we could do Gilgamesh's sidekick. What's his name?
Aikido or something like that.
Yeah, like a Enkaiden, something like that. We could do him, and just have like the big friendly like gribbly monster guy.
It's Enkidu.
Enkidu, that's it. Yes. Yeah, because he's like literally a beast man, like that in the stories. Like he's supposed to have horns and like.
Yeah, like, he was a bull man.
Yeah. So we have Enkidu, we have a magical girl, we have the luchador, we have
The thing is, Enkidu was created from clay and water. Oh my God, he's basically a golem.
Yes, except cooler because he's also a monster man.
Dude, golems are fucking awesome.
They are pretty awesome. Hell, we could throw a golem in there too.
Oh, dude, like the Golem of Prague.
Yes, we could have the Golem of Prague. There. All right, awesome. We have a team.
I love the Golem of Prague. That's a great story.
It really is.
Most of it, the Golem of Prague is, of course, is what informed the golems from Discworld, who are among the coolest things in Discworld.
They really are. Terry Pratchett was kind of very good at his job.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit good.
Amazingly good at his job.
Yeah. Oh God, But yeah, so yeah, I like that. I like that team. We need another villain. We need another themed villain team of something different. Okay, we okay. I've got an idea actually.
Okay.
All right, remember how back to the Universal Century, the Universal monsters, right?
Yep.
What if we build a team around Dracula in sort of the way that we have Dracula in the Doc Savage role for the villains, and then he's got his second best in the world flunkies all around him to go out and do stuff to go out and be his field agents.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Invisible Man is one of them.
We have the Invisible Man.
Because the whole thing with Doc Savage is he's the best at basically everything, but he can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
So he has his group of allies who are all very, very good at one thing. And so they work as a team, while Doc Savage sort of, is, the big damn, is, is the sort of organizing figure behind them. In the same way Dracula will be for these guys.
Right. So I have the Invisible Man, Krampus?
Okay, that's a possibility.
Like, just as an idea. Wilbur Whatley.
Okay.
From the Dunwich Horror, the mutant that goes out looking for the complete copy of the Necronomicon.
Nice.
Except he doesn't die like he does in the short story. He ends up joining Dracula's team, and he's the Arcanist.
All right. And Dracula has something over everybody.
Yeah, like Dracula has a complete copy of the Necronomicon.
Okay, I've got one for you, Eric.
Okay.
An unseelie prince whose only work from Dracula is Dracula knows their true name.
Yes. Yeah, that's great.
Dracula figured out their true name, and he has to work for Dracula because of that. Because Dracula could completely fuck him over.
I love that the idea of this unseelie prince just being like so completely done with it and looking down on everyone, especially Whatley, because you poor malformed abomination of a thing. And he's like, fuck you, pretty boy.
And the thing is, they all hate each other, but know they're more effective when working together.
Yes.
Like, they're all smart enough to know we're actually good at when we're working together, but we hate each other's guts.
Yes.
We hate Dracula. We all hate Dracula, but none of us can take him, even as a group.
Yeah, no one can take Dracula in a straight fight, and no one trusts the rest to have their back.
Right. Because they know that, like the Unseelie Prince is like, I literally can't turn against Dracula. He knows my true name. Like, they don't know why he's weirdly he's like, they all know he hates Dracula more than any of them, but he's also the most loyal to Dracula.
Right.
Because he literally can't do anything to Dracula.
And if anyone makes a move against Dracula, like, all of their others instant overriding instinct is to watch and see how it plays out and back the winner.
Right. Exactly.
They all know that about each other.
It's like the Invisible Man. There's like the Invisible Man would never turn on Dracula. He's not a combatant.
Yeah. What am I going to do? Poke him with a sharp stick while he's sleeping?
That's my best bet. But if he wakes up, if he detects me, and he can see heat.
Yeah.
He can smell blood.
Oh, Igor. Igor is on Dracula's team.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Igor's pissed off about what happened to the master.
Yes. Yes. And he's their tech guy.
Yes.
I love it.
Because, of course, Igor is immortal.
Yeah. And Igor's like one of the only members of the team that the Unseelie Prince has any respect for.
Yeah.
Because Igor is deferential to everyone because he's Igor.
Right.
Even if he doesn't, it's just the way it's how he talks to people. He doesn't really believe that he's inferior to them, but it's just how you talk. I'm Igor. That's what I do. Yes, master. But it's like no. But the Unseelie Prince, like, I know that he doesn't believe it, but at least he knows how to properly be polite.
But at least he knows the forms.
And yeah, he's misshapen and weird looking, but like he looks like a Fomorian, whatever. Looks like a Fomori, a small Fomori, but whatever. And dear God, I actually can he's got a brain in his head. I mean, so does I guess so does this Watley dude.
Well, the problem is Watley's also insane.
Yes.
Because he's one of Yog-Sothoth's scions. Of course he's insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The only person he actually genuinely respects at all is Dracula, because again, yeah, I hate his guts. He found my name. I that takes doing.
Yeah.
I mean, did he get lucky? I don't know. Probably, but even with luck, shouldn't have been able to figure out my true name. God. I want to stab it. I so badly want to cut his head off and mount it on my wall. But if with just his head cut off, he'll and then burn his body, but he'll still be alive. Yes, that's the point. Then when I mock him, he'll know I'm mocking him still. But he'll regenerate. Then I'll cut his head off again.
Oh. No, the thing that keeps the Unseelie Prince from taking out Watley is Watley can summon his invisible brother. he can summon the giant invisible tentacle beast. It's just he can't control it.
Right, so he doesn't.
Ace in the card.
So he
can
doesn't.
Summon his brother. It's his ace in the card. Is ace in the hole.
It's just not an ace in the hole he really wants to use.
Yeah, because it's really hard getting to calm down.
I mean, there are times when it's necessary and he'll do it, but I'd rather not do it all the time. For Drac could get pissed. If something would happen to Dracula's castle, he might actually kill me. And none of you clowns stop him. I don't think my brother can stop him either. Not fast enough, at least. And then...
Oh, no, what happened was Dracula actually, got the brother to shut up and sit down. It's like, that shouldn't work. That shouldn't work on... How did you... That doesn't work. How?
Wouldn't you like to know? Yes! Yes, I would! I'm not telling you. Wait, if you can do that, then... Oh, dear. He's not my trump card against you, is he? Uh-oh. That not good.
That's bad. That's bad. That's really bad.
Even if he could just tell him to sit down and calm down, that's bad enough. Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I like this. Do we have anybody else for the team that we want to put in there? So we've got the Unseelie Prince, we've got Watley, we've got the Invisible Man, we've got Igor.
Yep.
We need something. We need something else.
Yeah, something that would be like a dedicated heavy. Because that's what the team is missing right now, is a dedicated proper heavy.
Right.
Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Nah, it's not. It's a little too. I like the idea of the Creature from the Black Lagoon being sort of neutral in all of this.
Okay.
We're not just going. We've drifted away from the Universal Century monsters because we've run out of them.
Right.
Dedicated heavy.
So we've got Hyde and the Wolfman for Frankenstein's team.
Yep. And Gort to a degree, but Gort's showing up later. Yeah, because a lot of the Drax team are fairly subtle, which is the point, really.
Yeah, but they need something they can just point at.
Oh, Eric, the Chernobog demon.
Oh yes.
As Dracula's big ultimate sort of just fuck everything up trump card.
Yeah.
Just
there you go.
You unleash the demon. It's just like, Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, this big black demon that just carries Soviet winter, Russian winter with him,
Yes, I like it.
which is bad enough.
Oh. I like the idea that Drac doesn't have full. It's one of the only members of the group he doesn't have full control over because the other person who has some control of the Chernobog demon is Baba Yaga.
Oh, that's the thing. Baba Yaga is he. Every time he sets it loose, he owes Baba Yaga a favor.
Yes,
And he's
that's it.
way too deep in her debt, and that's someone he's actually afraid of.
Yes, he has no leverage on her for starters.
Yeah.
She's got leverage on him, and he hates that.
Yeah, he can deploy the demon if he really needs to. That means he owes Baba Yaga even.
Oh, I love it. Here's the thing: is Baba Yaga is the reason Dracula is even still alive right now. Because the Van Helsings did get him, but he was saved by Baba Yaga.
Yes, because actually, oh yeah, because actually, this when they jumped Dracula's carriage back in the old Bram Stoker book, they were just a couple of latitudes over the border into Russia,
Exactly.
and
I love
Baba
it.
Yaga happened to be watching. I was like, no, this is too interesting to let pass.
So they did kill him, but it didn't stick
It didn't stick.
because Baba Yaga, being Baba Yaga.
Oh.
And now, my dear
Oh.
Vladimir, you owe me a favor. Oh fuck. Oh no.
Vlad's missing a fang, but doesn't let anyone know it because Baba Yaga has it.
All right, that's great.
Baba Yaga has one of his teeth. She took his right fang because she thought it would be funny.
Also, it means she has control over him if she really wants it.
Yes, she has an actual part of him, an important part. So yeah, Vlad's always has the prosthetic in.
I love it. This is great.
Yeah.
These are good villains. This is a good villain organization.
Yeah.
And Vlad has no idea what Baba Yaga actually wants.
No one does. She's Baba Yaga. She's
Right.
fucking nuts.
That's the point.
I like the idea that she is just as likely to help the heroes as she is the villains.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, totally.
It's just Frank is not dumb enough to get in bed with
Oh
her.
dear Lord, no. None of the Frank's group is. None of them are stupid. You'll note, not a one. Some of them have been around too long. Oh, Eric, I thought of the deal with Jekyll and Hyde.
Mm.
It's not the original Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's one of Jekyll's descendants who's reverse engineered the formula, but has come up but knows what it does and came up with a plan to keep Hyde in check.
Mm.
In the way that we talked about, which is why Hyde doesn't check, is the Doctor knows what happens. So he's like, okay, I have a plan. And the plan's been the ability to hold Jekyll in check has been improved since he's teamed up with with Frankie.
Yep.
Because Frankenstein is also a scientist. So the two of them have worked together to come up with additional plans.
It works.
Yeah. Oh, I love that it's both that and he's consulted with the mummy, and she's used a minor spell of some sort to help it, despite over Frankenstein's objections.
Oh. Yes, because the process is both chemical and alchemical.
Yes.
So she helped him on the alchemical end.
Right.
With lost Egyptian alchemy.
Right. And it's one of those things that Frankenstein's happy that it's working because it means that his friend Dr. Jekyll, his new friend Dr. Jekyll, is able to stay sane, and Hyde is able to help them and is not a complete sociopath. Is not out there.
Is not going to run around trampling children and eating people.
Right. This is great, but it annoys the hell out of them that magic's involved at all.
Yes.
And he feels sort of similarly about the werewolf. It's like, dude, I respect you, and the whole it's got to be a genetic disease of some sort. It's magic. No, it's not. Magic isn't real.
Here's the thing. Frank knows that there was magic involved in his own creation, but he just absolutely refuses to admit it.
No, it's entirely a psychological thing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, is because he refused to acknowledge that magic was involved in his own creation, he can't replicate the process.
Right.
Which he's fine with. He doesn't think more. The world needs more of him. I mean, it does, but not like the whole immortal. Like the whole. It doesn't need more immortals. That's not going to help.
Yeah. We don't need more immortals. Hell, half the problems are caused by having 2.
3 technically right now.
Right.
The Mummy is also basically immortal. As basically the problem is there are 4 actually. Well, actually 5.
Because we've got Vlad, Frank,
Baba Yaga,
and
the Unseelie Prince, who's sort of immortal.
Yeah, sort of.
He's unaging. You can kill him. It's not easy.
He has life until death. Don't I have that already?
That's not what you think. Actually, technically,
yeah,
Frank is killable. You just have to burn him. He's not involved.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's afraid of fire. I mean, he's more afraid of fire than he should be. Like, he's afraid of small fires that wouldn't hurt him. But, that's because psychologically he knows, yeah, if I was set on fire, I would die. And, yeah.
Fire bad. What? Nothing, just something from when I was very young. Shut up.
Yes. I imagine Gort being very confused by all of this.
Yes.
All right, I think that's going to do it for this episode, though.
I think we've done good there.
So, thank you everybody for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We've run a bit long. Not that we actually didn't have viewer questions for this week, so we haven't gotten any in a while, so it happens. But if you've got viewer questions you'd like us to answer in the show, please do send them to us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Or you can post them in the comment section on YouTube, or I guess you can hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @MechaGM. We also love it when we get constructive criticism, feedback, ways we can make the show better. So send it to us either of those places. And show topic suggestions. Dear God, we love show topic suggestions.
Those are the best. They really are.
That way we can talk about what you want us to talk about. And we don't have to sort of go, oh my God, what are we talking about this week? And talk for about an hour about dinosaurs. Not that we've done that yet. We've still not talked for an hour about dinosaurs.
We've still not talked an hour about dinosaurs. But
we keep threatening. And I'm sure someone would actually enjoy it if we did. Here's the problem. Neither of us are paleontologists.
Neither of us are paleontologists or even particularly learned about them. I think I've forgotten more about dinosaurs than I currently know.
Yeah. I know there are a few of them I think are cool. I remember a few names of some of the less well-known species. That's sort of it.
Yeah.
Other problem is that most of my information about dinosaurs came when I was younger, and a lot of that's wrong now.
Yeah, a lot of it's very wrong now.
Like one of the dinosaurs I knew existed back then doesn't actually exist. Alas, poor Brontosaurus, you never actually existed.
And apparently laser raptors aren't a thing.
No, there aren't, Eric. I'm sorry.
I'm very sad about this.
But that's going to do it for this week. We record on Tuesday nights when we record on twitch.tv/MechaGM, usually starting sometime around 7 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Keep an eye on Twitter. I tweet out when the show's going to be going live. But that's going to do it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll be back next time. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.